All right, we're live. Peace and Black Power, family. I want to welcome everybody to another NCRBGZ production. We ain't been here in a little while, but we've back with a nice topic. We're gonna jump right in it. We want to thank y'all for being patient with us. But for everybody that's been following the news, it's a lot of stuff that's going on. But something in particular that's going on, this Libya slave trade is something that I wanted to get some people on the show today so we can discuss it. So, the title of the show is Libya Slave Trade and or White Genetic Survival. Now, I labeled this Libya Slave Trade / White Genetic Survival to say, is it a correlation between the Libya slave trade and the white genetic survival, or is it not? Is it just a coincidence, or am I just out of there? Maybe I'm just in Mars somewhere putting mess together that don't make sense, So, this is the name of the title. It's Libya slave trade and or white genetic survival. Is there a correlation? Does one hand wash the other hand? Or is it two separate events? For it to be 2017, and we actually are talking about actual slave trade happening right now with the Arabs, with the Muslims, still selling African slaves is very interesting. And I think, we need to talk about the Arab slave trade, how it has never stopped. But that's for a different time, a different show. I have two esteemed panel members. Usually whenever we have a show, they always show their face, whether they tired, sleepy, eating or what. Usually whenever we have a show, my esteemed panel, they're always up here. I'm going to let y'all introduce yourselves to the family. Say hi. Tell the family what you've been doing. We've been gone for a little while. Talk to the family.
Hi.
Julie, I'll let you go first.
Okay, hi. It's Julie Smith here from the UK, a friend of Stuart's. Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Hey, what's going on, everybody, man? My bad. It's Al Tariq Hayes, CEO and founder of the Starting Point. I'm here again with NCRBGs. I saw the title of the show and thought it very interesting. First off, I don't really know a whole bunch about the Libya situation in detail, but I do know surface information, what they've been putting out, and what some of the good brothers like Tariq Nasheed actually enlightened me on. So I'm looking forward to the show tonight. And yeah, that's it.
All right, I think everybody. That's that Zulu warrior over there, y'all. That Zulu warrior, he just keeping our back, keeping the haters away. That's what when you see that warrior over there, understand what the warrior is for. It's to block the haters. That's all. So don't be alarmed, family. Now with that being said, I saw a couple videos I've been watching, and it was one today I saw actually about a year and a half ago. I saw a documentary wherein it was some people in Libya who was going around recording these African immigrants who were crossing the Sahara Desert to get to Libya, trying to get to Europe. And this was like a year and a half ago. I saw this documentary wherein he was documenting what's going on and how the Libya, the militias or the different rebel factors in Libya, the smugglers, would kill some of the people that was trying to get over there, raping them. I mean, it was terrible. I saw this like a year and a half ago. when they was talking about the boats was capsizing, people trying to get to Italy, different places from Africa on these boats, and the boats were turning over. Well, I was often wondering what happened to the bodies. You know, this is some of the stuff that I was wondering, but you know, I never really got to look into it that much until recently we got to see what's been going on. So what I'm gonna do, y'all, I got a PowerPoint. I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna just jump right into this PowerPoint. Now I put it together, so it ain't perfect, but hey, it's what I do. So let me screen share, and I'm gonna jump right into this PowerPoint. Now I'm gonna start off talking about the white genetic survival first, and then I'm gonna tie it into the slave trade later on. So let me share my screen. Y'all bear with me. All right. Oh man, y'all hold on. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna stop sharing. I gotta stop sharing right fast. And look, can one of y'all talk right fast? I need to switch some up right fast before I jump into this PowerPoint. Anybody here? All right. Well, look, I'm gonna jump into this PowerPoint, but I gotta change some right fast. So y'all bear with me. Um, oh man, I didn't expect all this. Let me see if I can do what they asked me to do. Y'all bear with me, man. I'm trying to do something I didn't think I was gonna have to do. Damn. Hold on, y'all, man. Well, technology work good sometimes. Sometimes, come on. All right, come on now. Moving slow. All right, let me see something now, y'all. All right, let me try this again. All right. Can y'all see this? Can I get some feedback? Can I get some feedback? Can you see this?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. All right. So now I can get. All right. Here we go, y'all. Libya slave trade, white genetic survival. What is the link between the two? So I surmise that it's a link between white genetic survival and the Libya slave trade. So let's keep it moving to the second slide. Here's an article that was published November the 12th, 2017. It says, is Europe caught in a death spiral of declining birth rates? You know, you can click the link. You can see it right here. You can read it yourself, but I'm just gonna, I took certain points of the link of the article and I'm gonna highlight them, right? Now, it says with women having fewer babies, there comes a point when there are not enough worker bees to support the growing number of elderly who retire every year in countries like Germany, Italy, Greece, and Spain. I want y'all to remember Italy, because there's some stuff going on in Italy right now as far as their birth rates that's astonishing, right? All of these countries have dismal fertility rates of between 1.3 and 1.5 children per woman of childbearing age. Sweden, the UK, and the US are not much better at 1.8 children per woman. Economists agree that any nation with a fertility rate of less than 2.1 children per woman will not replace its aging population and ultimately fall into decline.
Yeah, per woman, that's what I meant.
Unless they say the nation uses immigration to make up for its birth death. That's what it should be. In 2016, America, hold on, let me back up. In 2016, America fertility rate fell to its lowest point on record. And in 2017, it stands at a frightfully low rate of 1.87 babies per woman. But the country's population continues to increase because of historically high rates of immigration. So what this article is basically saying right now is that Europe is caught up in a death spiral of declining birth rates. The only reason the United States is not caught up in this declining death spiral of declining birth rates is because of immigration. Immigration, remember this now. So let me keep moving. Let me move on to the third slide, right? The third slide is the sperm count in white men declining. That's the question I pose, and the answer is yes. Now, this is an article that was published on CNN, July the 25th, 2017. So this is this year, family. Now read what it says. Sperm counts of Western men plummeting, analyst finds. Now, when they say Western men, you got to understand, what is a Western man? They're not going to say what it is. It's white men. We're not going to play with it today. We're going in. I'm just going to give y'all the facts. It's up to you to take it how you like it or not. What it means when it's talking about Western men is white men. Now, let's read what it says. Now, this is an article. You can pull these articles up. You can read them yourself. I just take certain parts out of the article that I want to highlight, right? So, sperm counts of men in North America, Europe, Australia, and New Zealand are plunging, according to a new analysis published Tuesday. Among these men, there has been a 52% decline in sperm concentration and 59% decline in total sperm count over a nearly 40-year period ending in 2011. Based on their analysis, the international team of researchers from Brazil, Denmark, Israel, Spain, and the United States reported a decline in sperm concentration of 1.4% per year, with an overall drop of 52.4% during the entire study period for men living in industrialized Western countries. Meanwhile, total sperm count among the same group plunged 1.6% per year and 59.3% overall. Now, read what it says. By comparison, the researchers found no significant declines in the sperm counts and sperm concentrations of men living in South America, Asia, and Africa. It speaks for itself. Now, it's saying that the sperm count in Western men, Western my ass, white men, is declining. But when it's compared to men living in South America, Asia, and Africa, there's no decline. So you have a minus birth rate, and now you have men who are sperm count is declining. So let's keep going here. I ain't got that many slides, because I'm just going to throw this out there. Now, I put name some of the dying countries and birth rates. Well, this is an article that was published in May the 29th, 2015. It says Germany passes Japan to have world's lowest birth rate study. Now, everybody knows Japan was bombed a long time ago. So it makes sense why their birth rate is low, was low. But let's just read what some of this, let's read what it says, man. A study says Germany's birth rate has slumped to the lowest in the world, prompting fears labor markets shortages will damage the economy. Germany has dropped below Japan to have not just the lowest birth rate across Europe, but also globally, according to the report by German-based analysts. Its authors warn of the effect of a shrinking working age population. They said women's participation in the workforce would be key to the country's economic future. In Germany, an average of 8.2 children were born per 1,000 inhabitants over the past 5 years. According to the study by German auditor firm BDO with the Hamburg Institution of International Economics, it said Japan saw 8.4 children born per 1,000 inhabitants over the same time period. Let's read, family. In Europe, Portugal and Italy came in second and third with an average of 9.0 and 9.3 children respectively. France and the UK both had an average of 12.7 births per 1,000 inhabitants. Meanwhile, the highest birth rates were in Africa, with Niger at the top of the list with 50 births per 1,000 people. By the year 2050, Nigeria is going to pass the United States as the most. United States, I think, has the third highest amount of population. By the year 2050, Nigeria going to pass the United States. But that's further in here because this stuff's serious, man. All right, in a third of the U.S., more white people are dying now. More white people are now dying than being born. This was published November the 29th, 2016. Right? And it says 17 states, home to 121 million people, or roughly 38% of the country's population, had more deaths than births among non-Hispanic whites in 2014. Now they're making sure they distinguish the difference between Hispanic whites and non-Hispanic whites, because a lot of Hispanics, they classify themselves as whites, but they're not technically white, right? White natural decrease when births fail to keep up with deaths is due largely to the aging of the baby boom generation and declining white fertility rates. Nationally, the ratio of non-Hispanic white births to deaths is nearly at par at 1.04 births for every death. The ratio is much higher for minority groups, particularly among Latinos, whose rate is 5.4 births for every death. The ratio for blacks is 1.94 births for every death, and for Asians is 1.75. But the white population is 1.04 births, right? Now, these articles, y'all can pull this stuff up, read on your own, man. Now, I want to get into some of these diseases, and that should be rare. That's a mistake, y'all. It's not what is a rare disease. It's called what is a rare disease. Rare diseases. These are rare disease is a disease or order is defined as rare in Europe when it affects fewer than 1 in 2,000 people. A disease or disorder is defined as rare in the USA when it affects fewer than 2,000 Americans at any given time. So a rare disease is when it don't affect that many people, you know? Basically 1 or 2 people have the disease, right? One rare disease may affect only a handful of patients in the EU, European Union, and another may touch as many as 245,000. In the EU, as many as 30 million people may be affected by one of over 6,000 existing rare diseases. So in the European Union, they have over 6,000 existing rare diseases. Now, when you read these articles, you got to read between the lines. They're not just going to come out here and just put it in your face and make it without you reading between the lines when they talking about the 30 million people may be affected of over 6,000 existing rare diseases. Let's read what it says. It said 80% of rare diseases have identified genetic organs, while its others are the result of infections. So 80% of the rare diseases have identified genetic organs, meaning this is in their genetics. It's in the genetics, right? Allergies or environmental causes or are degenerative and proliferative. Over 6,000 rare diseases are characteristics by a broad diversity of disorders and symptoms that vary not only from disease to disease, but also from patient to patient suffering from the same disease. So look, let me back out of this right fast. Let me stop screen sharing. I'm gonna stop right now. Let me get back to this. Let me stop screen sharing. Okay, now back. Now, so far what we done seen is that the birth rate in Europe is at a negative. They have already started predicting when they would die out. I hate to say it, but they already got predictions, man. And these are not black people that's making these predictions. These are white people that's predicting it. In Italy, they already predicted. In Italy, they offering people $50,000. I should pull the article up. They're offering you $50,000 if you move your family to Italy, because they dying out right now. They got whole villages right now where they're just dying out because the age and they're not producing as many people that's dying. And this is real, family. So look, I'm gonna give y'all a chance. Y'all want to say something? Y'all just listening? Y'all like, oh, it's bull crap? Say something. Come on, let me hear something.
No, I'm listening. I was listening to the declining rate. You said that more white people are dying than being born. and that was November of 2016. So I wonder, has it been affected? Has it been reversed, or is it an increase?
It's worse now because the opioids. See, I didn't even get to put in the fact of what's going on with the opioids now and how it's killing them. See, that's something that you have to take into effect. I didn't even bring this into this right now. Because you can bring the opium and the drugs, opioids, and the big epidemic of what's going on in white America now. That has something to do with, especially in America.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even calculated in what I'm doing right now. I didn't bring this into it, man. I'm bringing it into to prove a point, though. In America, we got a lot of immigrants. That's why now to have a lot of immigrants, what do you have to have immigrants? You got to have places where they are not stable. You got to have areas where there's constant war and refugees, people that are constantly running, people that need somewhere new to move to because it's constant war. So when you have constant war, you're going to have refugees. Or when you have poor areas, you're going to have people that are willing to leave these poor areas and want to migrate to a place where they think they can make it for their family, make a better life for their family, right? That is just the nature of what's going on. But as we can see so far, the white people birth rate is at a minus. They're dying off, man. And I'm not being funny. I'm not being racist. I'm just giving people the facts. And that's just what it is, right? So what we have to understand is if they know this, you got to understand, they knew this because they the one doing the studies. They already, man, listen, let me get back to my screen share. I'm going to show y'all one more, and then I'm going to jump into this Libya thing. I'm going to show y'all one more. Let me share my screen again. Let me show y'all one more, man. All right, now this right here, it says Africa is the future. World population, a quarter of Earth will be African in 2050. Now, this article was published on CNBC.com on July the 30th, 2015. And let's read what it says. I take little snippets. It says by 2050, 1 in 4 people on Earth will be African. And the report expects Africa to be the only region that will continue to grow after 2050. 9 countries are expected to account for half of the world's population growth, and they're almost all in Africa or Asia. Listen to the countries: India, Nigeria, Pakistan, Dominican Republic of Congo, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Indonesia, and Uganda are expected to grow the most, roughly in that order. In contrast, Europe's population will shrink. This is something they predicting that's going to happen in 2050. This was in 2015. They predicted this. So they already predicting by the year 2050, 1/4 of every human being is going to be staying on the continent of Africa. Look at the 9 countries that they are expecting. These 9 countries are expected to account for half of the world's population. Let me get out of here, man. Listen. Let me listen. Let me get out of here, man. Let me close this. Let me close. I got some fire. I'm about to start doing presentations for people from now on. Let me stop screen sharing. Let me tell y'all something, man. They already know this. The problem is we don't. So, do you know in Africa right now, they are trying to pass laws. They're talking about it's too many human beings being born, so they want to control population. So they're trying to pass laws in Africa now to tell the African families not to have over 3 children. Do you know that that's something that Prince George, some of these European country leaders are trying to push on Africa right now, saying they need to limit the amount of people they having? You want to know why? Because by 2050, 1/4 of the world's population is going to be standing on the continent of Africa. So what do that tell you? That Africa will then be again what? On the top of the food chain. They said by the year 2050, America, in America, the median age in America is going to be like 40 to 48. So that means the majority of the people by the year 2050, we're going to have more people that are in the age between 40 and 50. They're going to be the majority of the people that's living in America at the time. So they're going to outnumber the youth. But yet in Africa, by the year 2050, the age range for the majority of their people are going to be the age of 19 to 25. So what do that tell you? If in America, our age range is in the 40s, in Africa, their age range is in the 19s to 20. That means they constantly reproducing in America. We dying out. So what that also tells you is then, and I don't want to jump on this, I'm going to say this for another day, then that also tells you who needs to be leading the world in the future. Because when you have an economy that's based on the age range of the age of 40 to 50, their wants and needs are going to be different than the age range of somebody that's 19 to 25. Because when you're in the age of 19 to 25, you're able to grow. You're going to be leading the world. But if you're in your 40s and 60s, you ain't leading no more. So it's going to be a shift in the direction in which these countries should be going when you follow these numbers. But I say that for a different day. Now, let's get to this Libya slave trade situation now. Now, I said that the purpose of this Libya slave trade is to help white genetic survival. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. Who are buying the slaves? It's not like we don't know who buying them. Where are they going? They're being bought in Europe. Well, Europe right now is at a minus birth rate. So if you at a minus birth rate, what do you need to equalize that birth rate to make it better? If Africa or the people on the continent of Africa birth rate is higher and they constantly reproducing, and my birth rate in India is low, obviously I want the Africans to come in because they're going to stabilize our birth rate because they're going to eject some proper sperm. So in America, we don't have a limit to the amount of children that we can have, right? So if you black in America, you need to be making babies. We need to be reproducing because that is our strength. But y'all can jump in on as far as this Libya slave trade. I done some research, but I don't want to say too much until I can back it up. But I know that it's some organ trafficking that's going on. Now it's big business that's going on because the Libya army, the state is since Gaddafi was in power and they removed Gaddafi, they left a vacuum of power. So when you leave a vacuum of power, what do you expect to happen? So I feel like America's hands is just as dirty in this whole Libya situation because we are the ones that caused this vacuum. And I also believe it was by design. I believe the whole Middle East was done by design. And I need to do a PowerPoint on this to show how it wasn't about oil. It's like a three-tier, three levels to it, man. It's not the simple levels. You got 3-4 different levels to what's going on. in the Middle East and why it happened the way it happened. You got the banking system. You know, you got the World Bank that's now in the Middle East. It wasn't there in all them countries now, but now it's there. We thinking oil or that these regimes need to be their dictatorship, or the presidents of these countries are dictators and they killing innocent people, and so we need to go remove them out of power. Now look what has happened since we have stepped foot to the Middle East, man. And we just got to be truthful and honest, regardless if we like it or not. But the Middle East was a whole lot better in the 90s than what's going on right now. Then we need to jump and talk about how this Arab slave trade has always been going on. The Arabs have always been selling Africans. They ain't our friends. The Muslims, listen, they ain't our friends, man. And you hear some of the stories of how they torturing the brothers and sisters, raping them, beating them with machetes, like calling them animals, treating them like animals. So it's a tough situation, and it's sad that here we are in America. It might not be the best, but at least we have a different type of opportunities compared to some of them Africans that's crossing the Sahara Desert trying to get from where they at to get somewhere for a better life. A lot of them dying in that passage in the Sahara Desert. A lot of them die, man. And if they fall off the trucks don't stop. So it's serious, man. It's a serious situation that them people are trying to escape poverty, famine, and hope of a better life, and knowing the dangers that they are putting themselves in just to try to get there. Knowing that they're going to get kidnapped. Knowing that there's smugglers there that's ready to take them and hold them for ransom. Knowing that it's people that's going to enslave them. And they hoping, okay, I get enslaved, maybe I can buy my freedom, get away, and I can get over here to a better life. And what's sad about this is Africa is going to be the future, but yet right now the people of Africa are trying to flee the future because they don't have the economic or Africa has been raped and pillaged so much by these other countries that all that wealth that is there is not being materialized. That they are so far behind, just like the Africans in America. We are behind in this race. Even Haiti. Haiti is way behind in this race. But Haiti is running the race now. The same with Africa, man. They are 300 to 400 years behind in this race. And the people are struggling over there. They're struggling mightily to leave, not just Africa, a lot of third world countries, just hoping for a better life. And then you have forgers or just vultures that's sitting there preying on that. Just preying on it. No sense of humility or humanity in them. So what are we to do? You gotta understand that I'm telling y'all, man, these numbers is serious. I got some more, man, that I can show y'all on this genetic survival mess. It's serious, man. It's so serious that, man, it's some studies. I'll just tell y'all the research, man. It's some studies in America about white women right now, how they just dying. They don't know what's the causes. Like, this is studies right here, man, and it's real, man. It's very real, man. So y'all want to jump in and say anything? I won't plan on being up here too long. I thought maybe the conversation get deep, maybe I go somewhere, but I mean, everybody then Joan who said they would.
Hey, Stuart, question.
Uh-huh.
Do you believe that the Libyans are slaving, even though the Libyans are African, um, because they are black? Do you think that, or is it because they're non-Muslim?
I think it's because they black. When they look at them as animals.
Really?
Yes. Because the Arabs were slaving black people before they were Muslims. They were enslaving black people.
But they were black too once upon a
Yeah.
time.
But so you think they enslaving them just because they not Muslims?
Yeah.
So listen. So some of them Africans you don't think are Muslims that's coming to Libya to go to you don't think some are Muslims. So you think
Mm,
all the hold up. So do you think they Christians or they
ye-
traditional
Christian or something else? Yeah.
and you think that's the only reason they enslaving them is because they not Muslims?
But Muslims also have tribes. So you understand, they hate each other as well. So it's complicated. Do you understand?
So well, I mean, religion. You know what? Religion may play a part into this, Julie, and it may be playing a part into it. And that also furthers my stance on why I say religion divides us. Religion don't unite us. And but I can imagine, but I really don't think they just doing this because they're not Muslims.
Also,
I think because Libya right now, they are so much in a state of confusion. They had a booming economy before the United States and the Western countries went there and tore it up. They had an economy. They had money. They were making money off their oil. They had infrastructure. But all that is gone now. And there is a vacuum. So anybody is fighting for power. On the documentary, some of them tribal leaders or tribes, they were talking to different tribal leaders from different tribes about what's going on. And the tribal leader says like they wish they wasn't doing it, but they don't have the resources to stop them. And also a lot of them that's actually doing it, like the guy who was running this camp, he used to work at a bank. And now he's the head of like a basically a refugee camp. He the head of, and he said that the people ain't trained. They don't have no training. They don't know what they are doing. They are lost. It's a vacuum and it's a power vacuum there, wherein the different tribes are killing each other. It's like Bloods and Crips. You get what I'm saying? It's like the gang era in America a couple years, 10, 20 years ago, without the police force to enforce stopping it. You get what I'm saying? They don't have a police force over there to enforce nothing. They don't have a military to enforce nothing. Like everything is scattered. That's what happens when you kill a president. That's what happens when you remove leadership or you remove a government and when you just remove people like that. That's what happens. It's a big vacuum. So I'm not making excuses one way or the other, but what I'm telling you is that them folks don't have no way of life. They are lost right now. They have no sense of nothing. And Gaddafi at least had them, they had pride. When Gaddafi was there, they was all getting paid. What are you talking about? The citizens was all getting paid when that man was there. If I remember correctly. So like the fact that they removed that man, like it is what it is, man. But I just feel like it's by design. is by design for the Middle East to be in turmoil. This has to happen. And it has to spread into Africa. It has to spread into Africa because they already know that they are dying out. Listen, let me ask you a question, Julian. If some of these articles they just posted in 2017, right? Or let's say 2015, do you think they just finding this information out? Or they may knew this 10 years ago and just decided to put it out? That's just like the military. Just like the military, right? The military got new advanced equipment that we're not gonna find out about until 10, 15 years later. We'll find out about it, but they already have it. They already have it right now. We just don't know it. The same with this information as far as population and minus birth rate. They already know this stuff. They knew this. You best believe that they knew this 50 years ago, 20, 30 years ago. They already knew this information as far as the birth rate. And that's why you got the rise of the white nationalism and white nationalists. Because that's what they are rising for, is because their genetic survival. Because they know that their time is dwindling. And that's why the prince got that sister. Now, you already know this, Julie, that the queen, all of them, Elizabeth, they done had black blood in them before. They done married, they done had black people in their family before. And guess what? Every 200 to 300 years, they have to inject some more black blood in their family. Or not, they're going to die out. But go ahead, Julie.
A black queen, princess, I don't know. Yes, there was.
Now go. You can jump back into the Libya stuff though. I know. I just feel like it's our fault, man. I feel like if we wouldn't have been over there messing with them countries and pushing our agenda, I feel like the Middle East would be in a better situation than what they're in right now. That's my personal take on it. That's my personal take on it. Tariq, you here, man? We gonna cut.
Yeah, man. I'm feeding my face, brother.
Hey, look, we about to cut it short.
I'm listening to everything y'all say. I'm trying not to smack on camera.
Yeah, I mean, y'all can jump in. I'm tired, man. I got a long day ahead of me tomorrow. I'm about ready to cut it short. So, if y'all got anything y'all want to promote, anything y'all want to, tell to the family, y'all can go ahead promote on some stuff. We will be having Mr. Al Tariq himself down here in Hoskin, North Carolina. December the 16th, is that 9th? Yeah. December the 16th. He would be at the Rosa Parks Sankofa Academy, coming down here so we can start this financial literacy. Let Al Tariq do what he do. So if anybody watched this, and you made it this far, on December the 16th, what time did we schedule for, Al Tariq?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. Y'all come on Rosa Parks Sankofa Academy, and we gonna get this financial literacy. We gonna bring 2018 in already getting all right, already prepared financially, and I might even go ahead and give us a breakdown of these cryptocurrencies and some of the ones we need to look forward to, possibly jumping into some early, and talking about the pros and cons of that, because that's something I need to do a show on too. I really do. That's something really need to talk about. But yeah, Tariq will be down here on Saturday. We selling dinners. We're gonna have our famous 3 meats and 2 sides bingo parking lot. Selling to everybody. So I just wanna thank everybody for watching. Julie, y'all got any topics? I told you, Julie, you want to do a show on Saturday, Sunday, any show that's good for the UK. Let me know. It's a lot of stuff we got going on. We trying to bring 2018 in, on a good note. We ending on a good note. So we trying to implement new things so we can show growth. We don't want to say stagnant. But we also want to get the citizens more engaged with what's going on locally. So then we can start thinking globally and try to start reaching out to make these global connections. So we can do what we gotta do. So y'all go ahead, man. Give y'all shout outs and then we're gonna close it out. Uh-oh. All right, well, I guess everybody good. So what we're gonna do is I thank everybody for
brother. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, get it in.
Didn't hear nothing for a while. I thought y'all hung up.
No, go ahead, man. You good. It's on you. The floor yours. Tariq. Y'all, anybody? All right, y'all, man. Peace and Black Power family. We'll catch y'all on the next episode. Listen, we thank y'all for riding with us. We're here. Peace, Black Power.